All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel, Millennial Trades. We are reporting live from Virginia Beach. So the markets today, I was involved this morning. Didn't watch very closely, last part of the day, but I'm catching up on some of this now. I mean, the price action all over the place. You guys saw this in the NASDAQ, especially if you're trading a lot of these tech firms, tech companies like I am, the fintech. It almost looked just like the NASDAQ. Square, PayPal, huge gyrations. If you were short, you would have gotten caught up. And if you were long, you could have got caught up real bad. So Square looked like it was about to have an amazing day, and it just got pulled right back down. So luckily, for me, not luckily, but my strategy is to get in and out to try to be out of there by like 10 o'clock. If I'm down a little bit or if I'm up a little bit, the whole point of me doing this is just trying to get as much cash as I possibly can in my trading account. So that being said, I'll tell you guys how I ended the day later on in this video. Hopefully I don't forget, but let's just go over some of the headlines here. We did get the U.S. payroll numbers. They rose more than expected. That's the top story. At least, for Friday here. What we have coming up, all right, that's more important than anything that happened, the rate hikes, any of this stuff that happened this past week. We need to always look forward. And we have inflation data coming out. So this is pretty key. We just got this interest rate hike. The idea that the interest rates are going to take effect immediately or they're going to have an immediate effect on the economy, I think is a little misguided. I think it could take months for even the interest rates in September and October now to actually affect the economy before we see the pullback. So keep that in mind. That's definitely something I'm keeping in mind every single day. And I think that's why the market is struggling so much, is because this is sort of the delayed reactions of previous rate hikes, right? That idea is definitely out there. So you have the inflation data coming out. There's several speeches by Fed officials. I really don't follow that kind of thing. The market action is, that's what I'm looking at. But a lot of people are going to be hanging on to the Fed officials' every words and combing through the comments and trying to understand what to expect for December's rate hikes. We have the UK GDP for Q3 coming out as well. So definitely some things to watch. In Canada, well, we talked about the United States, the payroll is going up. Also, the average hourly earnings month over month are supposedly higher, okay? But, who knows? These are just numbers we're getting secondhand from lots of different sources. They could be wrong. Canada in employment, right? We had the Canadian economy added 108,000 jobs in October, the most since February, and way more than expectations. So I guess good news for the Canadian job market if you follow that kind of thing. I know a lot of people follow silver and the commodities. If we're going to really see the stock market bounce, seeing the commodities come down is pretty much like we have to see that. There's a correlation there. And commodities are up. I mean, silver is up today as well. I wanted to mention silver and gold. Silver's up 7% on the day. And I'm just looking through all these commodities. Copper is up almost 8%. Soybeans is up 2%. Wheat is up almost a full percentage point. So, what is this? Is this a bear market rally within the commodity sector? That's possible. Who really knows? Silver doesn't look great for, there's a couple points of resistance here. There's major supply at about that, maybe $21 to $22 area. And it's kind of touched there a couple of times. I'm looking at the chart right now in front of me. You can check all of this out on tradingeconomics.com. Fantastic website. But I think silver could definitely pull back and maybe pull back further. I see even silver and gold bugs on YouTube calling for $14 silver and $1,400 gold, $1,500 gold. So commodities, definitely something I keep an eye on. I want to buy metals this month. I haven't bought metals in a couple of months now, and I'd really like to change that. That's sort of my goal for November. depending on how things go. So I have not been adding a lot of stock. I think I added a little bit to my Ally Bank position today, and that was pretty much it for long term. I maybe added a couple shares of Oatly here and there this week. I know, I'm encouraging others that I know to do the same who are invested in these vegan stocks. We're going to talk about Apple because this is very important. The Apple price action, where it possibly could go in the future here. And my light is about to die. It might have gotten a little bit dimmer, but I've got two huge lights behind the camera, so we should be good. We're going to talk about Apple, but when I was talking about the vegan stocks in a video a couple of days ago, somebody brought up the fact that Beyond Meat's COO, I think they actually said the CEO, which is not true. It was like the CFO or the COO. Anyways, this guy high up in the Beyond Meat Corporation, for those of you that don't know, threw a fit in a road rage a couple of months ago and literally bit some dude's nose off or something. Crazy headlines, man. Crazy headlines. But a lot of people are saying they just can't support Beyond Meat because of that. And, that is pretty scary stuff. Almost comical, right? It's kind of like a Mike Tyson-like episode. And the fact that it's coming from, Beyond Meat, of all places, a company that's supposed to be plant-based, caring about the environment, and maybe even caring about the animals. And anyways, I do think these vegan companies are going to grow in market share. I think they're going to compete. I think more people are realizing that, there's definitely something at least immoral about what we're doing. You can make the arguments about whether it's sustainable or not, or whether we should be doing it, or you can make the health arguments. But the point is a lot of people can kind of agree that some of this food is highly immoral. And so I think that's the reason a lot of people are interested in investing in these kind of companies, these more these alternative food companies. And I think we're going to see more and more alternative food companies, whether that's lab-grown meat, and it doesn't mean you have to eat it, right? But they're going to sell it, right? They're going to sell it in all the fast food restaurants. Doesn't mean you have to eat it, but I can invest in it, right? So that's all I'll say about the vegan stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about Apple. Apple is down, let's see. Well, they came out with earnings, all right? They came out with earnings. I don't think the stock price is actually down. I didn't pull up the stock price. Hold on. Apple stock. But it's not as down as much as the S&P or the NASDAQ. So it was down like 0.19 today as far as after hours is concerned. It's a little bit more, like 0.23. So it looks like Apple's hanging on. Who knows where it's going to be tomorrow? And this is my whole point in talking about Apple. Apple did generate over $100 billion in free cash flows on this latest earnings report, and up to 20% year over year. Now, there is some talk about a lot of share buybacks, and Apple's not maybe investing their money correctly. But the point is that, Apple has yet to fall as far as Amazon, which I think is down 50% now. Facebook, which is down 75%. All these fintech stocks that are down 60, 75%. You have Google that's getting close, I think, to 30 or 40% now. And Apple is hung on the best, right? Apple is actually worth more than Google, Amazon, and Meta combined at this point in time. So, and it usually outdoes the S&P 500. Usually outperforms the S&P 500. Could that switch up? Because the S&P is already down. Apple needs to probably come down. I mean, every other stock has come down. It's going to happen with Apple too. I'm not saying I'm going to hold long-term puts on this, but I will be, looking at the price action. I won't be surprised if we see Apple dip below $100, just like all the rest of them. People think it can't happen, and who knows what Warren Buffett is thinking. I mean, he holds so much Apple. Would he add to the position? Probably, if it was down 50, 60%. But, if Apple even goes down 30 or 40%, going to be devastating to the market. It's going to be devastating to, Warren Buffett and Berkshire and, even the politicians, right? Because the politicians, this is their favorite stock, right? Didn't Nancy Pelosi make like hundreds of millions of dollars on Apple shares and call options and stuff? So the politicians, the senators, they love Apple. And if they start dumping Apple, they hold a lot of it. So it's something to think about, right? The fact that Apple is held up so well. What does that mean for the markets? And could we see a sort of reversal where the S&P 500 starts to outperform Apple in the next year or two? And some people are saying that we're not going to see highs from 2020 for like a decade. That's certainly possible too. And this is why I think short-term trading is kind of like that's where it's at, especially in a market like this, because you're just holding these shares, you're holding them, you continue to add to the position, you're down 10%, 12%, 15%, 30%. A lot of people can relate to this. Some people are down even worse than that, which is fine. If you're talking about long-term investments, you buy all the way down to the bottom. That's what I'm trying to do. But the short-term trading, I have to do it. And I will reveal to you guys right now how I did this week. This week was very well. We did pretty much just as well as we did last week. Today, we're ending the day up about $500. All right. It's about a 20% gain in the account, or what I had in the account. And I did make some withdrawals, which I need to make a video about that too, because withdrawing from the trading account is very hard to do, because it's like you want as much money in there as possible. But, when you start doubling your account and stuff and you're not taking anything back and putting it into the bank, and it's like all out there in the trading account, it's been dangerous for me. So I did make some withdrawals. And yeah. So from what I started with today, we're up like 20% in the account. Which is great. I almost replaced pretty much what I had taken out a couple of days ago. But the whole week, there were some frustrating days. There was a $50 day. I think there was even like a $20 day. We had a $150 day. So it was frustrating, but I felt like in the end it paid off. Even though I had lost money on my first trade today on Square, I didn't let it defeat me, and I was able to come back from that, and still profit and be very profitable. So that's what I'm focused on. I think it's fun to hold the stocks. It's fun to read the earnings reports and talk about it. It's fun, to talk about the interest rate hikes and the commodity prices. You can follow whatever suits you, whatever your interest is. But for me, it's kind of like the short-term trading is just, there's something about it. Even because I've had some failures, and I just keep trying, and I haven't given up, and I never will give up. I don't, even if I suffered a devastating loss today, I would have been even 10 times more motivated to show up on Monday and try to figure this thing out. But we're going to try not to do that, because we're taking stop losses, and we're putting practices in place that are better for the long-term outcome. For instance, like I try to be out of there by 10, 11. I don't think I've had a trade that's lasted as long as noon in a while. I think the latest trade I had was like I cut it at 11:30 this week. And so I just need to get out of there and just take my money. I don't care if it's $50. I'm going to take it, because I just need to get as much cash as I can in the account and get to the gym. I got other things I want to do. I'm making beats. I haven't had time today to make a lot of shorts, and I kind of was, it's tough keeping the ideas coming. But I try to upload a little bit, a little something every single day. I've got some videos of my trades and some videos of my P&L, like a little screenshot and stuff. So if you're following me on Instagram, I really appreciate it. It's at Millennial Trades. If you're not following me, go and find me on Instagram, because sometimes I post stuff that's not necessarily going to be on the YouTube channel. But I do post a lot of shorts on YouTube, and you guys have been liking them up, commenting, so thank you for that. We actually blew up on a couple of them. A couple of them got some decent view counts now, so thank you for your part in that. That's pretty much everything I'm going to cover in this video, guys. I don't really follow the cryptos a whole lot, though I should. Maybe I'll try to do a crypto video this weekend, because that's the only market that's open, really. So, following it. I don't know why. I'm just not that interested in crypto right now. I think, long term it's a big thing. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Who knows where the bottom is with any of these things. So I'm just kind of watching. We'll see what happens. But if you guys want, crypto price updates or anything like that, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. Hopefully I'm not the only one that's following this stuff. And if there's another piece of information that you think, I should have covered, I would definitely love hearing back from you guys, because I can't keep my eyes on everything. And with that, I will see you guys on the next video.